Morning, everyone. This cold but pleasant Friday. Morning, Chris. Seen you taking my promotion to the House of Lords very serious. And quite rightly too, I might add. Wait till I pass, give it a couple of minutes. Now, Xavier Pietro, must have some power in your area. What a pleasure. I have to ask Mr. Murray just now, anybody been stealing more cables around you? It's not funny, actually, but it is. You had about 2 or 3 problems there, hey?
Yes, good morning all. Luckily, since yesterday, it's a little bit on off, very intermittent, but small breakdowns. I don't know what is the cause, but luckily the cables are still intact, it seems.
It's, yeah, when I was down on the south coast, we had a breakdown as well, which stuck the system up. So at the moment, luckily this area is not too bad. It's back than having load shedding. Well, that seems to have improved a bit lately, to be honest, without that on top of it. Because we still stick to the schedule. Don't say, well, these poor guys have been off on schedule for 4 hours, give them a break in the next one. But no, you still grab the schedule one as well. I wonder if anybody thinks here the government's doing a good job over here. Because I mean, when's the election? And I wonder if they'll get voted in again. Anyone, even with the remotest IQ, think they're doing a good job. You know? Maybe. Anyway, okay, it's past, let's get started. Okay, let's just go through trades. Entry in this, it was a pending if you look at the signal. When it's slightly better price near the 100-day moving average. It was sent out earlier on. Yeah, so it was about the 67.45 mark. Some guys might just jumped in. I strongly feel a lot of guys don't read the signals. There was a guy who went 0.01 on the stop yesterday. Although clearly trying to point out that this is a share, it's not a forex, and the volumes are different. Still went in, and then he WhatsApped me and says, "Why come the profit loss is not moving?" Because I said if it hits targets, you just might put a down payment on a box of matches. But he grinned about it, he laughed about it, because that's a nice guy. And I said, look, you must read the signal. The volumes are different. I mean, you know, and to be fair, psychologically, you should bring 0.1 in or 0.05. Suddenly put in 20 or 30 volume. Oh, yeah, it's a bit taken aback, you know, but that's something one has to learn. And unfortunately, I have to be honest, a lot of the guys paying good money for the SMC course are not attending any of these classes. I mean, the classes are not highly subscribed to. And when the share comes up, even though they've been paying each month, which clearly they're not sure what to go about it. So yeah, it's important just to go to a capital class, get the basics of the difference between a share and a forex and a commodity and an indices. So yeah, not that complicated. complicated. I don't consider. Yeah, it's nice to have power again. Okay, so if you like the trade, any it's been sent to you. One was sent out as a more of a actually, with a tighter stop tied to TP. Just let these guys in. It was only, however, sent to the VIP guys. I'll mention more of that if anyone wants to be a member and can afford to be a member. Where are we? Here we are. That was sent out. As if you looked at the signal, it's only 65 rand a micro. It was a tight stop, tight TP. It's basically a range trade, the stop up here somewhere and the TP down here. Just a range trade on the short side, you probably gathered. So the trade idea came out at 33. So yeah, so there you are. I'm only telling you about it because anybody who takes the effort to attend the trading room, I'm going to uplift him to discuss this trade with them anyway. So it's not exclusive to the QT guys or the VIP guys, or whatever they want to say. They can be included. But if anyone wants, I mean, the guys on the VIP group know all about it. They've decided to take it or not. It's actually their choice. If you haven't, you want to have a look at it, I can go into it. Not for demos. Those are demos. Don't have we can root it out. But I'm sorry, guys, you shouldn't be in the trading room with demo. The demo is purely there so that they'll operate the platform. They last a month, so you're going to take it off. But this is for real account trading. Okay. Not like I'm going to chuck you up, be rude if you're on the demo. I'm just trying to encourage you. If you're set, to try it and get the confidence, which you will not get on the demo. In fact, the longer the demo, I know I've been there. Everything I've been there. I sold $50,000 some American Forex in FXCM, that's right. And I thought I was no end of a chap doing well on the demo. Till my good lady turned around and says, yeah, now try it on the live, mate. Stop boasting demo wins. Got a completely different ball game then, I tell you. This is a good 15, 16, 70, 80 years ago. Yes, nearly 20 years ago. Oh, a long time ago. So yeah, I've been there. That's what I'm saying. It's not trying to be funny here. The longer you're on it, the more difficult to get off the bloody thing. You've got to get that confident by getting on the real count. Yeah. Anyway, so you don't want it, fair enough, move on. We've already got it. Okay, another one looked at. I quite like it. They asked me to look at the trade. If you guys like it, we'll probably send it out to everybody, or maybe I don't send it out somewhere. Anyway. This is the one. Was it GBP CAD? Yeah, GBP. No, I think I might have lost it a bit now. I've got it. Yeah, we missed it. See the faffing around with it. I was quite keen. They said discuss the trade room now. The ship is solid sales. Anyway, I've got it down to get in. Discussed this morning at 67.61 as a sell. It's 20 down. I don't want to be joining it now. The idea was a range trade. He was up here somewhere. Attack this. Stop loss above here. I thought it was pretty good anyway. The company, I'm the qualified one, so I should very well be in charge of it. Anyway, the company is not send it out. That's their choice. That's all right. But I like to short. I've got to say 67.61. I'll put it up as a pending if you like to look at it. Don't you get the risk order chasing now, unfortunately. Six, 7, 6, 1. So it's a short. 6, 8, 4, 1. .6630. Yeah, so unfortunately, if you go in a market, you're not going to get a risk reward. And I don't want to put the TP below that 100 there. And it's not just the 100, it's those 4 days there where it bounced. So it's purely a range trade. If you want it, you've got to go into that price or bet, obviously get higher. What a pleasure. If you like the trade, but I wouldn't chase it now. What do you think of it, guys? My worry, if you send that as a pending order, people just jump in and the risk reward's not correct there. Morning, guys. What do you think anyway? Can we just discuss this trade quickly, guys? Anyone like it for a pending order, or should we just laugh it off, leave it alone? Okay. We'll leave it. Pity. Okay. So don't even want a pending order on it, leave it. Well, wait, like if you like the trade, I'm not pending, I'm not getting a market. I'm getting at the price I have down written down here. Anyone like that pending order? Leave it alone now, yeah, don't do it now, yeah. I'm talking about putting a sell limit in. No. Okay, my luck. Well, there you are then. If you like the pending order, I've got it written down here anyway, because I prefer the other one actually personally. I think they're both good, don't get me wrong, but I actually like this one quite a lot. This one's obviously showing starting to happen. Okay. Kathy's definitely, and you agree there. It's a bit of a background noise there. If you want to interact, please let me know and I'll obviously I'll reach you. I'll tell you what, I agree on that, Mark, but not on top of that. I mean, Rishi Sunak, you know, he's the Prime Minister there in the UK, he's trying to get some great trade deal going with their old friends, the America, as in Biden. But Biden looks like he didn't really come to the party, so it was a bit very disappointing there, which hasn't helped the cause. Yeah, I think that was flu. Some say COVID. I don't know what it was, but yeah, flu did hit. Quite a few got it. Yeah. Anyway, right. So we'll move on. It's like the pending order. There it is. Let's go. Right. We had a couple of trades out. We'll start with a baddie, which may become a goodie. We hope so. Anyway, let's go down the 4 hour. Okay, it did get there in the end. It's a bit of a pity. Maybe in hindsight, maybe jumped too early, but then again, it was there. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Stop up here, but it was still in. Wasn't stopped out. It's still down. I get that, but ride with it. Don't forget, guys. Give the trade a chance. You cannot pick bottoms and tops. I get the idea. It's completely, totally, 100% understandable that when you enter a trade, it's your money, your real money. And you immediately want to go in your favor. Of course you do, wouldn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way. It jumps around a bit. And remember the strategy. That's why I do want about these volumes. If you do get stopped out, you know it's part and parcel, and you know you can afford it because you worked it out before you press the sell or buy button. It's so important, so vital, that imperative, in fact. So we're still in it, and it might come right. Those that have been with me before, Mark, Farley, Anna Marie, I've seen guys flirt with the stop, not stopped out, and then not just talking about profit, actually hit the TP. So who knows? Anyway, it's time to come off a bit. It might come right. Don't forget, this is not day trading. It is trading, could be a few hours, a couple of weeks, a few days. We don't know. Remember, you're in the trade in perpetuity. You know what that means? It means forever, unless you exit it or hits a stop loss or TP. So how long it's going to take? Look at those different candles. Look at this candle here. This is a 4-hour chart compared to this candle here. So we don't know. I mean, it could be quick, it could be slow. I don't know. But the point is, you got a strategy and stick with it. AUDCHF is starting to come right. Having said it's bounced up again. It's coming right earlier on. I must admit, an hour or so. This will be out of the chart. It's coming out earlier on. That's time to bounce up again. But it's given some jip, this bloody AUD. But anyway, the bottom line is it wasn't a profit. It's probably just slightly a profit to break even out. But yeah, we'll come to that in a minute, Cecil. But it's okay. Right, Euro CHF was another one. That's doing okay. It's hovering just below the 97 mark. But we got in on the Euro CHF. Where is that? 97.40. So that's in a profit. I suggest if you took the trade at the signal at 40, 97.40, you modify your stop to break even so that you can take the risk out of the trade and go into the weekend nice and happy that this is looked after and protected, and see if you can grab some profit. Again, please try and run with the trade. I had 2 or 3 calls yesterday, and one particular guy, who's on here now, don't you? And he put a reasonable sum in money, and he's wrestling a bit, and he's working the signals. Why are the signals wrong? Why is he doing badly? Well, I've been doing the same signals, been putting out myself. I'll be honest, I've missed one, or maybe 2, simply because I either talked to you or somebody's crowd out, forgot to place it. When I came around to place it, I missed the bloody boat, and it would have been done all right. But that being as it may, they haven't been too bad. I certainly haven't taken a bigger smack on this as he's taken. So I delved in deeply. I had to get sure my information, but I was pretty damn sure, because that's from experience what normally happens. And absolutely, the 2 things I'll go on about, which unfortunately it is very difficult mentally to overcome, I get that, was again incorrect position sizing, overexposing, but more important, because he's dealing on emotion, he's beginning his trading journey, he's grabbing the profit too quick and holding on to the losses. So in other words, he was in the Euro CHF and he got out and with about a 15 pip profit. Well, that's no good. What's the point of putting a risk reward calculator up? Let's just show what I mean. I just want to go over this again. I'm so boring to some of you because you know the score anyway. But it's so important that just guys don't seem to get it. We're going to buy the Euro CHF. Okay, put in it. I should put in a stop loss at 0.9610. What the hell? Doesn't really matter. So it's 9810. 996. Yeah, and we'll put a stop loss in at 0.9825, just off the top of my head. Now, what you do is you look at the risk reward. Obviously, that's not going to work, so I'll make it 0.9850. That'll work. Okay, you look at the risk reward. 1.75 is above 1.50. That's your risk per micro. You work out your risk accordingly. The problem is, once you go into profit, we'll do it now as if you're going to do a profit where you take 30 pips. So I'll make it 0.9828. There we are. That's not right. Oh, sorry, it should be. Sorry. 0.9725. Make it 228. There we are. That's your risk reward. That's how people are doing it. They're putting up, seeing the risk reward in actual with the signals, etc., but they're taking their profit. That is what's happening. So if you work on that premise, you've got to win 3 times, lose once, you break even. Simple as that. Sometimes it ends up 4 losses to 1 to break even. It's the wrong way around. And clearly was identified as a nice guy, very nice guy. And he got that. And he said, yes, he admitted. If I can't help a guy if he doesn't see it himself, he saw it himself. Yeah, you're right. I'm taking it too quick. The nerves are getting to me. I was fixated by staring at the ups and downs. See, I'm not looking at the ups and downs of my trades. And down, up, stress, then you get the profit, you get the down, and it's the profit again, and grabs it. If you trade like that, you've got to win 70, 80, 90% of the time. I don't know. And that's not going to happen. Even when you're good at what you do and you're a top boychy, that's not going to happen. So that's what people are actually doing in reality. Once they've gone into a trade and they see the movements, all rationality goes out the window. They forgot they got the strategy, they forgot everything else, and the emotion suddenly takes over. Work on it, guys, because you doesn't matter how more studying, reading more books, someone else, you've got to work on that head. That's where the problem is. That's why I got about the demo, because I've been there. I've been there. Once it's real, or you've learned the demo, you've learned elsewhere, right out the window. It's what then the head takes over. I've explained to people that the person's in, no, they're not in the moment. The lady there went on overexposing a specific instrument. Please don't do that again. If it could knock you, your stop loss there, you blah, 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 blah. And went, did it all, understood totally, then went in on their own bat and something. Unfortunately, sound ridiculous to say that, unfortunately did well. I thought, oh my goodness, now she's not going to drop it now. She's going to try again, go in too big, and then so this is too easy. And of course, the brilliant trade she did do was all being put back. And now she's in the down there because she couldn't stop. But emotions took over. It's not a guy who had to look late in this particular case. We could have a person, shall we say. And yeah, so they did well, overexposed, it came right. So they do it again and also lost, did it again and lost. And not that what they won, put back in, and they went down again. And again, totally overexposed after all I explained. So you've got to get that head right. If you can't get the head right, you're going to end up in the dwang. Simple as that. It is absolutely vital. Okay, I'm sorry to go on, but this is really what's happening to traders. Why majority of traders lose, by far the majority of traders lose. It's not because they're unintelligent or haven't studied. Some of them are, and some haven't studied. I get that, but majority of those, nothing wrong with their brains, and their education, nothing wrong with what they've learned, or course, or whatever. Nothing wrong with the signals. They cannot control that head. If you can't control the head, you're out of business. I hate to say it. I just want to really reiterate that. It's for your sake. Very, very important. Hey, Mark will back me up on that. Hey, Mark, you've been around. Can you honestly say in the past you've made 1 or 2 mistakes because the head and the emotion took over? Hey. And even Mark's a businessman and he's in IT, which is a logical kind of game sort of thing. But it's amazing when it comes to trading, it seems to be all logic seems to go out the window. And sometimes correctly, Final will back me up on this. We had that Euro debacle a few weeks ago. There are going to be times, and especially an educated, intelligent person, there are going to be times can frustrate you because it makes no sense. That is when, again, when retail trade, millions of them trading emotion, that's when you get movements that make no sense. It is so much that what's in the head you've got to handle. In fact, watching the French Open at the moment, saying the same thing on that. What separates the guys at the top to not so good, probably not much difference in skill, it's just the head. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, a tad more than 1 or 2. Yeah, finally, these guys, Anna Marie, these guys, Mark, have been around doing this for a while. If Ken was on here, he's on at the moment, he's been doing around for a while as well. And they almost certainly will say, yep, it's the head that's screwed me in the past. It's not the signals, not the training, nothing like that. It's the head. Try and get that sorted. Try and give the trade a chance. You've worked out, let's say you can afford to lose 500 grand on that trade. So bring it off in your head and give the trade a chance. You get stopped out, well, so be it. But that's the worst scenario. You could be modifying the stop. Maybe you lose 300 because you modified, it went to profit. You get the idea. And then with some profit is jumping around a bit and modifying the stop. You can even partly close your trade. You don't have to close your entire trade. I mentioned this before, modify TP or whatever, but try and think with your head and not too much with your emotional aspect. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. That is the most difficult part of trading. And that is, I would say, over 90% of the reason why people end up with failing in the business is because they just can't control that head. It's a pity. Sorry to go on about it. That's about as if you can get the crack of that. That last 10 minutes diatribe with me would be the valuable course you could take. And I'm only charging you 5,000 rand each. I'll put to the WhatsApp my bank account. You can deposit them by tomorrow. Thanks very much. But joking apart, yeah, it is very important. Try to keep it light. Try and make it fun. Not too doom and gloom. But I have to. Somebody else has got to come in. You've got to get that head sorted. Okay. Right. Okay. Euro CHF is doing fine. Modified stop as mentioned. AUD ones we talked about just now. Breaking even to coming right. AD CADs is trying to come right. Let it run, rock and roll. For gold, only for the trading room. Wasn't sent out at the end. Actually, F stop 13.60 was the entry. Was down nicely in profit. Popped up a little bit, and then anyway, it's okay. So it goes later on. Gold we got in again in the trading room. Modify your stop and protect profits in the normal way, and then so you can't lose in the trade and maybe hit the TP, maybe get stopped out. At least whatever happens, you're going to make a buck or two in it. So if you took the gold one, make sure you're protected. 45 we got out. So yeah, clearly you can move it up to at least just above your entry, just to protect, maybe 1953 or something. That's $10. I think it's okay. It's away from market price, and you'll make a few bucks, whatever happens. Okay. This is what I'm trying to get across. Proper trading principles, and you need to have think of your head. And as Fine will back me up on this, there are going to be times when prices react ridiculously. I'm prepared to bet that that is retail market worldwide, millions of them reacting emotionally, collectively, even though they're amateurs, are pushing the price in funny directions or getting the wrong end of the stick or something. And that's why occasionally, that's why you have to protect however brilliant the trade is with the correct volumes. Because sometimes irrationality will, with the price action, come in. But most of the time, the irrationality comes in from the beginner trader's head not in controlling it. Their emotions and fears are taking over. And the biggest worry is guys coming in here for all promise of Instagram where they're getting it, they make a quick buck when they cannot afford to risk. Then if you can't afford to risk the money or lose the money, basically, let's get for the spade a spade, you can't trade. Simple as that. And they want relatively high returns, and they want to take virtually no risk. Well, clearly, if they took a step back, that's impossible. Those sort of basics, I think, far more important. Hours and hours. Pondering over Bollinger Bands, in my opinion, but that's the way it is. That's just my experience coming through, and having gone through it myself. Okay. So those are trades going. You've got them. We can look at other stuff going through. We come back and check the GBP CAD to see if it can get filled. It's a bit of a pity that, because I thought, anyway, that's things it may. Brent's sort of hovering a bit. Guys in it will be in a profit, but it seems to be hovering a bit. A lot's to do with Brent, though. It's not next month's decrease in production by the Saudis or OPEC. Particularly talk about the Saudis here. It's China's economy is slowing down, so they're not buying as much oil. That's probably a lot to do with it as well. There's a lot of talk with OPEC. I have to say, in all honesty, factors on the back more than I've been saying. They want to keep this sort of around about the 75, 80 mark. That's the sort of target. I've been going on about that. Don't want to 85, 90 mark too much, because they don't want to bankrupt the payers, but they don't want to go bankrupt as a producer themselves by, they've got their expenses below 70. So the producer wants a favorable price, and the obviously consumer wants, and they reckon around about 75, 80. Just there you are, just out of interest. Yeah. We do get a pull back, we can look to maybe buy it again. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so I've mentioned no trades. I've mentioned position size calculator, how to get it if you haven't got live chat. Nothing like a bit of experience. Trading room will build that experience in practical. Interacting like a forum here is very important if you're not sure. The basics are the easy part. It's just getting the head right. Okay. If you haven't got the calculator, well, get it. I'm doing it tomorrow, by the way. If anyone's not sure how this calculator works, I'm doing a quick hour job at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm filling for Clinton. He's got his wife going somewhere, and I said I'd fill in for him. It's just basic stuff. If you know how to operate a calculator, don't waste your time. It can be a light, turns you on, but you might get, well, you will get bored. It's boring because you know it, it's not, change gear, there's the brake, put your foot in it. No, you know how to do it. But if you're not comfortable with the calculator, we're just going to go through it. But more or less what I talk about here. I'm not going to get into complicated stuff. Just want to get them to get this sodding volume sorted out, because they'll be a lot happier then. Try and get the concept. You can't have something for nothing. I want to put nothing in and I want to get a lot out. No, I want to put $1,000 in my account and I want to make a lot of money. Well, you won't. You can't take positions big enough to make a lot of money because you haven't got the capital. It should be common sense. Again, emotion overtends to logic. I'm just trying to point it out for your sake. So, get rid of this social media BS and basically total media BS. We're sort of spun 24/7. Highly irresponsible, in my opinion. Okay. I mentioned CHF JPY actually getting in. Remember a couple of days around about the 153 plus mark. I think we hesitated a bit. It's been a pity, looking quite well in the end. Oh, sorry, I knew something I missed all that. I tried. It is important. You're in the buy for GAP or was somebody else? Sorry, I missed some stuff there. Let's go back. I missed some of the stuff. Sorry, Cecil, I do beg your pardon. Right. Start off with Cecil there. AUD CAD. Well, we've got an AUD CAD out already. Was it? What was it brought out? Well, that was just, yeah, we've got an AUD CAD out already, I think. Where was the entry? Pretty sure we did. Of course, where the hell is it? Oh, there you are. Yeah, thought it got out yesterday. Well, we're going to sell out. Right. I'm looking to sell this. Okay. My worry at the moment is, well, number one, we missed it. Simple as that. Well, I missed it anyway. That was a sell. I missed that. It was yesterday. All right, I missed the bloody thing. Sorry, guys, but it is. Right. I wouldn't be selling it here for a couple of reasons. Technically speaking, it's the bottom of the range. It's still in the neutral zone. It hasn't broken through the 50-day or this area here, as you can see quite clearly on the line, on the crosshairs there. Hasn't broken through. The other aspect is, remember, Tuesday and Wednesday, there's major announcements coming out in the US, which will affect the dollar, and that could go either way. But if I'm going to sell the dollar, I would choose the Swiss franc for my favor. I said it again, so I'm still going to sell the rally. I'm not sure what's going to drive the dollar strength. It's going to stream up and beat the hell out of the Swiss franc this day again. Not sure what's going to drive it. That would be something major coming out of Jerome Powell on the fundamental economic side. Okay, so this one, I don't want to buy it. It looks like a range trade technically. I see some sellers already coming in. I'd be very nervous of buying it. We could easily break through. So on this one, I'm looking to sell the rally or stand aside. That's my thinking. Anybody disagree with that? Please say so. We want to discuss it. That's going to become fun, and we can all learn. Everybody can then from a discussion. Anyone think Cecil sees a buy? You think that's going to be a buy? It's interesting. There's you bought AUDCHF. Okay, it might still come right. Still about break even in the trade. Anyone? Any suggestions? That's going to write a couple of these down. So yeah, this ZAR, GBP AUD. Want to buy that one, okay. Always put down, if you put in some, I'm just saying, what about euro dollar? That means you're going to obviously tell me what you want to do with it. Okay, yes, technically speaks some strong support. I'm not saying you won't get a bit of an oversold bounce here. The extent of it, I don't know, but I think with the major fundamentals coming on Tuesday and Wednesday next week, going into the weekend, and the Swiss being one of the stronger ones, if you're keen on buying the dollar, I'd rather buy it against the AUD or the NZD or the GBP or something like that, rather than the Swiss franc, to be honest. The better fish to fry on that. But just if you're purely looking at that, it looks like you might get a range jump. It could well happen. Don't say it won't, but I'm not going to put my hard-earned cash in it. I personally think, depending on what happens, might rally a bit and then we can set it down. Again, I missed it yesterday. You might get another opportunity. Well, we talk about AUD-CAD, but we've already got one on that one. What's happening at the moment? It's hovering, okay, but we might come out. I tell you what, though, I quite like the sell if you didn't take it. If you didn't take the sell and you like it and you're not in, here's an opportunity to get in at a far better price than the signal, to be honest. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes you miss a signal, does you a favor, for some reason gets a better price. Sometimes the ships sell, then don't chase it. Okay, we'll go back to this rand. Before I've said it before, I'll say it again. I know Brady's trade before, you'll know this, but some guys don't. Right. The problem with the dollar, with the not the dollar, sorry, the rand, where is the fact it's termed an exotic, which means it's less liquid, more volatile, and on top of it, you deal a lot of economic parameters, as we all know about. We live here, but more on top of it, it does have a higher cost and a higher margin. So if you left click, right click, check it out. This is be a professional trader. Check out the facts, understand them. Don't jump in. What does 100,000 mean? What's the spread mean? What's the margin mean? I didn't know. What's the leverage mean? What does derivatives mean? What's this mean? What's that mean? That's not being professional. You don't go and pass an exam if you haven't done your stuff. Right. So bottom line is, I agree with the buy. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait for a couple of things. Technically speaking, I'm going to see if the 50-day can hold. And more to the point, I want to see what's going to happen on Tuesday with the CPI and Wednesday interest rate decisions before I get cute with the dollar, even against the week-old rand. So, yeah, but I think there's a possibility to jump from here. But because of the costs and the much higher margins involved, you need a lot of free margin to do it. Small accounts can't do it. And even if you can, I'm going to wait to try and get a better price, but I'm a little bit hesitant because if the dollar weakens or strengthens, it might, let's say the dollar weakens on CPI or whatever, then I think it'll drag this down with a stronger rand. Not because of the rand, because of the dollar. If we get 1850, yeah, I think it's 1850 or even better, then yeah, we'll see. It's not just a dollar involved, it's very much, sorry, the rand involved, it's more than the dollar as well, don't forget. Okay. Well, if you want AUD CAD, you go for it. GBP AUD, I think go for it market actually. If you want to do GBP AUD, put a wider stop. Don't use a stop. We can use a stop if you want the signal. Maybe it's slightly wider. Well, up to you if you want to do that one. If you're not in, don't double up, guys. I keep saying that. Some people still do. You work out 5 rand risk, you double up. It's 1,000 rand risk. Then you're overexposed. Overexposure, do not. GBP AUD, sorry, wrong one. That ship's definitely sell. What a bloody pity. Where's it here? GBP AUD. Yeah, I fixed some button the other day and I think I lost a couple of sets to reload it. Big pump. All right, you want to GBP AUD? I'm not too sure about that. Not that excited about the dollar. I saw the Aussie dollar, but I'm not that excited about the pound either. I'd look at that. What was the distance before we get too cute? It might be bigger than we think it is. That's bigger than we thought. It's still 73 pips. It's quite a lot of distance. Always check it because some of that might be 20, another one it might be 70s in this case. See that tiny little gap there's 80 pips. No, I wouldn't buy this one. No, I think anything could happen here, to be honest. I'm not keen on the currency, to be honest. I'd rather be selling the pound, selling the AUD at the moment. Having said that's a neutral zone. It has popped down from a stronger neutral. Isn't a bit of support. It could bounce here. Is there much follow through? Already we've got a bit of a wick appearing there. That's going to 4 hour. It's coming back off again on the 4 hour. This is the LIA job for me. What do you think, guys? Anyone like this as a buy? I forget who actually said. I think it was Cecil. Was it yours, Cecil? Whose idea was this? GBP AUD. Shepherd. Right. Anybody want to join Shepherd on a buy on this one? Anyone want to sell it? Anyone want to leave it alone? I've stated my case. What do you guys? It's a discussion panel. This is where we learn. You've got to have your opinions. Hope the guys who are learning now, but what's going on, they can have their opinions. So, what do you think? I'm leaning more towards a sell, but I'm not doing it now, to be honest. Yeah, leave it alone, number one, sell number two, number three, buy. In that priority. Okay, looks like, sorry, Chepo, looks like there's not a lot of support there. If you want to do it on your own, that's your choice. Be a braver man than I am. Okay. We can move on. I think I've covered it all there. I think, Greg, you're happy with the dollar. I think everyone was happy with the dollar rand analysis. But whether it's good or bad, just remember, if you've got a small account, leave the ZAR alone. The cost that margin going to hurt. Very important, keep free margin. I'm going to try and set every single trading room so it's like a stuck record in the head. You must have free margin or you will be margin. And if anyone doesn't know what a margin call is, ask, and if you still don't know, Google it. You have to know it. Not a question should know it, a question you have to know it. In fact, I think everyone who has problems with the trading and the starting should maybe get a foolscap piece of paper and type out or write down, control my head. Right, okay, that's sort of covered a fair whack. We unfortunately ship sold on the GBP CAD, the CAD CHF. We seem to be here at the moment. We said to sell at 45, 85 pips, give it a chance, see what happens. Give the trade a chance, guys. A lot of you say, shall I hold over the weekend? Yeah, so you really, if you profit, modify, normal story, but I held mine over the weekend. NZD CAD was 81.35. How's that doing? Come off a little bit, but not much. That's okay. Yeah, CAD CHF I mentioned. Okay, and then fortunately the GBP CAD. That ship sells. Pity. No ways to enjoy it now. Maybe it'll pop up. I'm not sure what's going to happen. You might get lucky if you're selling it. CAD JPY. Just what about that market? But what about this Japanese yen? To be honest, I'm worried about government intervention. It gets too weak. They don't want too strong a yen because they're exporting a nation. But if it's too weak, all their money's going in bloody oil because they import. Remember, they import all the oil. So I'm just a little bit worried. The CAD seems to every time it comes off, the buyers are coming in. Gets you completely. Where is it? The buy or sell zone? Don't answer. Obviously, it's in the buy zone. Clearly, it's just battling to break above that resistance. I'm nervous of it. I'm personally thinking you can even look at this range short distance down there. Yeah, 100 pip range. I personally could even look if that holds again this time around, sell it down to the bottom of that range. And never mind it's in the buy zone. I think that could come back, test that range. Why not? Gold and silver looks today, Chris. If you're in it, hold, modify the stop loss and enjoy the profitable ride. If you're not in it, leave it alone. That ship sail. Simple as that. No more, no less. If you don't know silver, it's a poor man's gold, basically. Not exactly, but similar. A lot of guys turn to gold and silver at times of stress and fear factor, mostly gold. If you like silver, do it. Otherwise, you might as well stick to gold. WTI, Brent, or whatever. Not gas, rubbish. WTI and Brent's all as oil. They're not quite as similar as that, but it's very rare you get silver going up and gold going down, or vice versa. But yeah, if you're in, modify, enjoy the ride. If you're not in, you missed it. Tough. Okay, what do you reckon? Market's looking for, oh, you mentioned getting yesterday at 104.09. That's fine. Well, obviously modify your stop. Well done. Bottom of the range, that's great. No problem there. Modify your stop, protect. But get a little bit nervous, it's getting up there. You might want to bank some of your position, or you might. I'd get a bit nervous around this level. It might break up, but I'm not sure it's going to do that. I think if it comes off there, the options sell. So you might be able to trade that range both ways, Mark. If it gets up there, you can take it and then wait. If it comes off, then maybe sell it down, stop above the range, and aim down to the 10-day moving average. Nice range trades. You get it going both ways. That's my take anyway. Not particularly, to be honest. The days of being a big bull was a month or two ago. Canada, the Canadians a bit okay. It's okay. It's not the big strong zone it was in the past. No. So I'm just speaking up. I still think it's medium now. Remember, I used to have the lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. I put now it's more of a middleweight. Used to be the go-to trade a year or so ago. Absolutely. Buy the Canadian, yen was up to maggots, not anymore. Moderate news. I didn't see any much particular coming out. I'll post it for you. Just remind me. Thanks for reminding me. Canadian employment change to 2-star. It might, but it's not a 2. It's a world spotted cut, so it's not a 3 stars to 2-star. So it might, but I don't think it's going to be a mighty one. It might have a little bit of a jump. It might even be in your favor, but I'm not going to sweat about it. Sure can. Copy that for you guys, just so I don't forget to do it later on. Let's do the dollar as well for you. Hope you've got the dollar index. You will have it now anyway. Wrong one. What happened there? So just give me a second. Just give me a second, Cameron. Get these signatures crap my way in. Okay, yeah, I'm still bullish on gold, but we'll be joining it now. Modify your stop. So you're going to make money whatever happens. So let the thing run. If it doesn't make 90, then you stopped out. You're going to make a buck in it. It could go anywhere at the moment. I'll be honest, going the weekend, it's going to drift. I think it's going to drift, to be honest. But it doesn't matter. If you're not in gold, I'll repeat again. If you're not in gold, leave it. If you are in, modify to protect yourself and let it run till you're stopped out and modify accordingly. No more, no less. It's simple as that. Don't know more complicated. What price of NAS today? I think it's going to go along to a session and go short. Well, be guess good as mine. If you're short gold at the moment, you could easily come right. NASDAQ. Again, like most of the sessions this week's been a bit sort of sideways, or really, to me, at the moment, it's a trading range. I mentioned yesterday when it came back down there, I'm leaving that personally alone, but I will be surprised to get a bit of a bounce, which we subsequently did. Where's it going to go from here? You could well be right. To me, it's just pure guesswork. Pure guesswork. You can say, I think it's going to go down and up at New York, or I think it's going to go up and then down New York. It's guesswork. Leave it alone. I have no idea. I can honestly say I haven't got a cooking clue. Just looking at this particular movement here, it just seems to be a little bit of a range, about 280, 300 pips, something like that. Until it breaks out the range, I'm leaving it alone. And it's halfway on the range anyway now. So we'll be buying it now. What are you going to do? Buy it from here, put the stop down here, 260 pips, and then you're going to make a 180 pip TP. It doesn't make sense, does it? Leave it alone. It can be a beaut. I've said this before, but there are times you've got to be patient. And don't get addicted to the NAS and trade it when you think, oh, I'm bored now, this thing moves, I can jump in. Seems like a good idea. Another person traded after repeating at least 200 pips stop or more volatility, went traded 50, came right to be lucky the person involved, but it's too tight to stop. You can't trade the stop, you can't trade with stops in the NAS as you do on Forex. It's a much, much more volatile. Please write that down, remember that. Okay, so NAS, leave it alone. Okay, got that? That's my opinion. For you, you want to do it, it's your money, your choice. Leave it alone. This could get some downside. Anything happen during the weekend, it will definitely be affected by the CPI and the interest rate decision coming up next week. I just don't think on the volatile one, on the sideways drifting with wide stops, the risk is justified for expectation of a reward. And then we've got the higher spreads involved as well. I think just leave it alone until we can get some decent chances, and then you can get a brilliant one. I've seen the Dow and the NAS produce profits that can overcome 4 or 5 losses, nochal, on the currencies. But just bide your time and wait. Impatience, not emotions, not troll ahead, overtrading the account, wrong volumes. These are the amateur mistakes that kill the beginners. Try not to do that. Don't know about that, and Susie. Don't know anything about that. The sell stop delayed in triggering. Then when it did trigger, it moved my entry to a low entry point. I don't know about that. I don't know what you're in. Remember, if you're in the NAS, the Dow, it's very different because you've got to do a wide, it's 25 to 30 pips above and below, and you got maybe a 10, 15 pip spread depending on the situation you're in. I don't know. Might have been a bit of slippage, but I doubt it. It could have been. It could have been slippage, Mark. Yeah, the speed of it, but nobody else seemed to have that problem. Why Mzuzu? Yeah. And I can tell you for a fact, he hasn't got a $100 million account with the size so large it couldn't get filled. You get my point. But nobody else had that problem, so I'm not. I don't really know why that happened to you. The liquidity was there. I mean, everyone's sitting front to non-farms, even in the middle of the night in Japan, or Australia, New Zealand. So there's no problem liquidity there. Might get a jump and taking the worst price. I don't know, it could have been. But then why did everyone else have the same problem? Well, I said I did gold. I didn't have problems going in exactly on my sell stop. Or was it buy stop? Sell stop, sell stop. Sorry, can't much more help than that. At least I'm being honest. I don't know. I know I'm paid to know, but rather I said I don't know than make a story up. Okay, right. Here's a question. I thought you were all aware of this, but clearly not. That's why I'm glad you asked. Make sure we're aware of this. Sorry, Arnie, I know you know that. Mark knows that. I've been doing it for a while. These guys know. Slippage, you've got to remember, comes from a stop loss or a TP or an entry point or whatever. It's purely a buy or sell order. I tell you what, I'm putting my house on the market with 3 million rand, right? I put on for 5 million, it turns me on. Until a person takes it off me, it's in my head what I think the house price is valued at. So the bottom line I'm trying to say is slippage occurs when you get a major economic fundamental or a bomb going off or something big happening to the price action. You've got no buyers and sellers at that specific point. for instance, let's say it came through. Let's say you put a buy stop in on the Dow above there. Probably too high. It's being a bit ridiculous. Go to 15 minutes. This is very important. If you don't tell me to understand, very, very important. Where's make it 30 pips? There, you're putting a buy stop there, right? Putting a you're putting a buy stop there. Then something comes out that is seriously major, and it jumps on opening at what's the time now? 10:15, and it jumps up there and opens on the next candle up there. This one won't be filled because there's no buyers and sellers there. The only buyers and sellers came in there. Another example. You close at midnight, just before midnight, 11 o'clock on Friday, and the price is this particular price here, right? And you've got a stop, you're buying it, and you've got a stop loss wherever it is, and something over the weekend, it doesn't happen very often, don't panic guys, so it must be closed over the weekend. No, very rarely, but it does happen. NVDA is a classic example on that share. It came out phenomenally, way above profit expectations, and it just shot up on opening. So let's say a bomb goes off from the Pentagon over the weekend. What do you think is going to happen to the Dow? It's going to open down here on Monday. Your stop might be here, mate, but the shop was closed. There's no buyers and sellers. Pick and Pay's closed. ShopRite's closed. There's no buyers and sellers. Only buyers and sellers opens on Monday morning down there. She'll be out at that price. That's what slippage is. Occasionally occurs with people on normal trading with very large net worth or institutional very large positions. That's one thing that's good about not being that big. You guys don't have to worry about that. So in the normal case events, you're getting in and out because, with all due respect, the positions worldwide, tiny, microscopic compared to liquidity flying around there. But when you get a major fundamental, certainly one's unexpected, like a bomb going off the Pentagon or something ridiculous, or 9/11, then that's going to happen. NVDA is a great example. It opened up way above the close, and the guys have stopped out because they're going short, and unfortunately took a smack. Doesn't happen often, but you've got to be aware of it. So just again to repeat, remember this: a stop loss at TP is purely a buy or sell order. There's no buyers or sellers at that price. Your business is not going to be concluded, like any business. Hope we're all clear on that. You got that in Zuzu and that gather, that other guys? I have a point there, Emery. Good point. Before I go to that, and Zuzu, just I've got you muted because I know you're quite confident to speak, so I'll let you speak if you like. You're all unmuted now if you want. But I want to make sure not just in Zuzu got this, everybody's got this when it's explained about slippage and buy and sell orders. A stop loss, I mean. But anybody not got that? Bear away. Probably quicker. I think most people have got that now. Hello? Anybody out there? Anybody not got that? Just place
Hi, Roger. Can you hear me?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
All right. No, I understand somewhat. Just that when I see what Anna Marie said, maybe I misunderstood. No, straddle most, isn't it when you put a sell stop and a buy stop and then you delete the one that's not filled or the one that doesn't trigger?
Quite right, yeah.
Yeah. So the price, let's say it goes to the direction of let's say a buy, right? And then I delete the sell. But then you find that the buy did not trigger. It's still sitting on as a buy stop. Are you with me?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That you only delete the sell if your buy's been triggered. If neither been triggered, you delete both of them because now it can go anyway, either way.
So let's say it does, and what I found that if I restart my cell phone, and because I use the app, the MT5 app on the phone. Let's say now I restart my phone and I close the app and I restart. When I go back in, the buy stop is triggered, but the entry is much higher than the original entry that I had put in, if that makes sense.
I heard that completely. So let's say you got a buy stop in at 337 0.73, like I've got that horizontal line there,
Yeah.
and you got picked out or somewhere, and then you went back and you saw you're in, but a way different price.
Correct.
Maybe that's the spread. I don't know what do you do? Do you do gold?
Gold, yes.
Let's do gold. Remember, there's 161, 162. It's just over $1 spread there. Don't forget that. So you might say, I'm going to get in on the buy price and not the sell price. And it might look slightly different because the sell price is where you get out at and where the thing is. So if I put my buy stop in here, I'm getting 162, but I'm going to be have a red on the screen. I'm going to be a minus because that's my exit. Remember that the market maker spread, that's their profit, if you like. That's their brokerage. So that might have been the case. I can't sell that would mean slippage, because if there was, everybody would have been having a problem. I got some guys who traded the non-farms and the CPIs quite a lot in the last 3 or 4 months, and they'd be on it and like a rash. You know what I mean? What the hell? Why was that? And then we'd look into it, and I'd send it upstairs to the company, look into it, and contact you guys individually to sort the problem out, because it might be a glitch in MT5. Not us, MT5. But anyway, never mind. Still our problem.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
I've never experienced it before. It was the first time. And then I noticed, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you set the price last Friday on 197,677, if I'm not mistaken, right? But when I did that, I went back in, it went down to 1975.
Oh, it might have gone up and down once you're in, yeah. But that's the only thing I can think of, because there's no problem liquidity there, and it didn't move that quick that we got any slippage at all. And like I said, nobody else had that problem. So I think it might just have been the spread. It's as simple as that. But just bear in mind, I'm going to go back to the Dow again. I just want to reiterate that. Let's say we're waiting for the news to come out. Okay, I've got this. This is my sell stop, the black line here, and my buy stop there. Let's say, and here's the price now. Let's say the news comes out right now. Let's pretend we're doing the CPI. And it jumps up a bit, doesn't take you in, jumps down a bit, doesn't take you in, and pops around around these levels here, and you're not in either side, then strongly suggest you get rid of both of them. Delete both of them and go back to normal trading, because there's not been enough information or difference in the actual to propel the markets in any direction. Indecision has crept in, and it's not strongly a buy or a sell. Get rid of your pending orders as quick as possible. That's why I right click and have the trade levels up in front of me. So I go bang, delete, get rid of them, because you don't want to be jumping into this one and then change his mind, come down. Now you're going in short down here and along up here, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, just bear that in mind. You might get that situation. But I'm going to try, for those who are more sophisticated, try for the dollar difference on Tuesday. But other guys maybe $2, because a lot of people are just not getting even the basic straddle trade. So try and complicate it by saying a dollar above it belongs to not filled. They just can't even put the mechanics of the trade in. It's so bad. And then they really are confused, and all sorts of remorse comes in, and even explanation they're not getting. It's a pity, but it's the way it is. Got to face up to that. But if you've got the dollar either way, above or below, you are risking a bit more whiplash effect, but at the same time, you get almost certainly get taken one of them. It's very unlikely. It's not gold not going to move $1 on that. I don't ever seen that. We won't be at least $1 away from the entry on that release. Even if it's exactly the same, there's going to be some interpretation of the damn thing, or that habit. But I'm discussing the guys a bit more experienced here. If you want to do the gold one, you get the concept what I'm on about. You can maybe do $1 above or below. Again, make sure you're not filled before the release. If you're not getting it, we'll stick with the $2, because I don't want the guys to suddenly get pulled in just before the data is released, because they're not getting it. You know? And that is the problem. And some guys, I'm saying some guys, don't be nasty yet, are going to forex classes not getting it. They're coming to trading room not getting it. They're going to platform trading. And they're still asking me, show me all the platforms. To get a platform, I've been several times, still don't understand it. So now I've got to explain it to them, it's not my job, I might add, on a WhatsApp, when they've been to several and still not getting it. I don't be nasty to them. If you can't grab those basics, horrible thing, this is not going to be for you. Don't try and study maths at university level, going for a master's degree. if you're batting at 2 and 2 is 4, maybe you should find some other form of career. You know what I mean? It's not be nasty, but it's got to face up to it. I can't do art. I can't paint the same a bloody line. So I'm not going to become an artist, you know?
No,
Okay,
thank you.
I mean that, Susie. Are we on the same page now?
Yeah, no, I understand. I'll monitor it on Tuesday and see what happens. But I did notice that on Friday, so I thought I'd just maybe raise it.
Look, I hope it's got sorted out, because I want all you guys to, you know, what's the word? Not push. Bloody word now. Keep at it. What's that bloody word? Persist. I want all you guys persist with this straddle trade, because ask anybody here who's been doing this last 2-3 months, and they'll back me up. It's a nice, quick, profitable way to make a quick trade, and we haven't really had a loser yet. I'd say we're not. Now I don't do Murphy's Law, might not this one, but so far we've done about 7, 8, 9 of them, and everyone's who's done it properly and produced a profit. And they were, ones that didn't, were honest enough to say they pressed the wrong button or they did something wrong. It was their fault, their side, or they lost bloody internet. Well, I don't know, it's not my fault. It's something outside your control. But the ones that did it properly, didn't have an internet problem. We've had about 10 out of 10, how many we've done, or 8 out of 8, I can't remember now. So it is worth persisting on to get the hang of it. But if after several times you still can't get the mechanics of it, I question your future in trading, because this is a lot more complicated than a straddle trade. You've no idea how complicated when you start getting real derivatives, actually. Luckily, hopefully, it won't go that far down the line. But just bear that in mind. If I say 25 minus 15 and you cannot work that out, this might not be for you, because this is on the science side rather than the art side. I'm not being harsh on my fine. I'm just trying to be honest and upfront to help people. So I don't want people losing money they can't afford simply or not cracking the idea. But I just saw a name there. I'm glad you're here. I think we spoke yesterday. The guy who had a reasonable 5-figure sum. I think you're on there. I think you know what I'm talking about. And had taken a bit of a knock. I chatted with the person, and let's go back again. It's again taking the profit too quick. I explained earlier on, you put a position size calculator up, and thanks, Brian, because I don't want to be harsh, but I want people to get this. Otherwise, they're going to lose more. And then I think they'd rather be harsh and lose less than me be nice and soft soaping and lose more, you know? But yeah, if you put up position size calculator, say your risk reward is you're risking 1 to make 0.3, you might think it's a pretty crazy way, but in practice, that's all the time we trade that way, by grabbing the profit with 20-30 pips in profit, and then holding on to our to the hits of stop loss, 100 pips stop loss. What's the point of risk reward? It's the wrong way around. You've got to give the trade a chance. Rather modify. Remember, you can cut your business. I've shown you how to do it before. Wrong one. Trade there. Let's say you're in this one here, right? I've got 8. Why have I got 8? I've got one another 0.2, another one, because depending where the stop, I use the calculator. And I work on maximum 2%, some a little bit less, of balance when I go in there. I don't go on 20% or 40% like some. And still I'm doing okay. I say to people, the pros look at around about 50% a year return when you know what the hell you're doing. I'm actually doing slightly better than that. So, and I don't want to set ridiculously high targets and you set yourself a failure. But the point is, you can still do very well percentage-wise without risking your head by screwing up by going overexposed. Don't have to, not necessary, unless you've got tiny, you won't be able to trade otherwise. Okay, don't forget, double click on where it says volume there, and instead of closing the trade, you might want to bank some of it. So I'm not going to close it now, but I'm going to, let's say I want to bank 4 micros. I put in 0.04 volume, and I click on the close button, and that will change to 0.04, and the 135 rand go in my account, and that obviously change 135 rand. Anybody not know how to part close? It is quite quiet. It's getting into the weekend. Sorry, Fanny. Sorry, guys, experienced there. Just give these guys a bit of a break, because I'm pretty sure some people don't know this. Do you now know how to partly close? We'll spend a bit more on it if you still haven't got it. I just beg of you, say so. Not half an hour later and holding everybody up. If you need to do it again, just tap out please again, and I'll do it again. Everybody got that, how to partly close. If not, respond and say so. Try and help me to help you by being more forthcoming. Because often, you know, guy says something and I'm going to like draw out the information. It's like it's almost top secret. No, I'm helping to help you. Give me the information. Anybody not know? So I'll move on. If you all know how to do that, I'll move on. Repeat. I think she's being polite to other people. They've been doing for their sake. Pick the instrument. You might have a few. A few there. God, it's not come to profit, but you know. So some are okay. Okay. Let's try this one. I've got a bigger position here. Why is that? Because it's a trade that was a much tighter stop loss. So I can do a bigger position. I'm not just doing it because I felt like it. There's a reason behind it. Double click, and I'm deciding I'm going to close. I've got 25 micros. I'm going to close 10 micros. All I do is put 0.1 in, and that's 10 micros. Clearly, click that button there, and I've got 15 micros left, and I banked. Obviously, that figure will go down because I bet banked 10 micros. Are we all good with that? If you haven't, ask me. If you don't ask, well, I see you are good with it. Okay. Right, so you can there's lots of ways you can play around, and it's not that bad if you get your head right to see it. Also, look at the trade signal. Read it and look at the risks involved. We can spell it out: risk per micro, risk for 2 micro, risk for 3. I personally don't necessarily. If you can't work out a risk by extrapolating from 1 micro, I'm not sure it's the right business to be in. You know what I mean? But anyway, we do that, almost spoon feeding. Do it. And then some guy will call up and say, why haven't you got 100 grand account, you went with 4? Because they only had 4 on there. Well, if it's 4 is 500 and yours is 2,000, well, you accordingly extrapolate larger. That's the scary part. This is basic arithmetic's not being understood. It's like not being able to read or write. It's got to be understood. If you want to close a negative trade, of course you can. Don't have one at the moment, we've had a negative, you can, red or blue. If you're getting worried about the trade, sure. If you're saying, right, it's not going to come right, well, if not come right, I might well close the bloody thing anyway. But if you want to close half your negative, great. But you shouldn't really be in that situation, not the negative part. That's going to happen, sure. You should say, right, I'm willing to risk that amount on the damn trade, so let it run the stop loss because I've got that strategy. Why cut it? Because you went in, you wanted to risk 500, you've risked 500, so there be it. If you're not getting the volumes right, you're not understanding the concept behind it, your head is going to take, sorry, your emotion going to take over your head, and you do things that don't make much sense because then your emotions are taking over. Okay, Mark, not a problem. But you can. I'm going to go into this trade now. We must not. Let's do this one. I'm going to go to this one here. This is my stop loss. I'm going to work it out, and it's 100 rand a micro. I'm going to risk 2 grand on. I'm going to 20 micros. And I've written from it 2 grand, I'm going to lose on this trade. It goes up nicely. And what if I'm a stop? Now I'm only risking 1,000. So before I'm going to lose 2, I've done half of it. Well, that's fantastic. Then it goes to break even. Then it goes better. I think it's going to go farther. I'm going to bank some of it, move my TP, and move my stop loss off and do that. Then check it occasionally and have it down here. I'm not looking at it all the damn time. I haven't got even my trade levels up here. Am I still this one? I may be out of it then, okay. But I didn't have my trade levels on there anymore. So don't let it interfere with your head. Very important. Stuff I'm going on about here, I'm prepared to say is at least 90% of why people lose in trading. Simple as basic stuff. The head is not being used, it's their emotion and not thinking. And you can't, that's just muscle memory. Absolutely. And that's a very good point. I mean, I do every day. Get that point and do for a while. But yeah, it's like a language. You don't speak that language for a couple of years, you get rusty, obviously. Yeah, you forget it's not a problem. But you come to trading room regularly and always ask, you got that advantage. But yeah. So remember that, guys. Give the trade a damn chance, get those volumes right. Don't stare at the damn thing all day and be comfortable with the risk so it's not playing with your head. I got stopped out with cats. Yeah, now stop cats or some bloody thing a couple of days ago. I think it's about 18, 19, 100 rand I lost it, but that was the risk I took. That part. I didn't lose 5, 10 grand on it, no. Then I'd been overexposed and I'd have been more annoyed with myself than the money lost. I've been really annoyed with myself. But no, I got that right, and it happens. And see someone in blue, see how that happens. Give it a chance. Yes, I just put the WhatsApp. I'll reply to him after that. If you can't do these CFDs, guys, because it means you're on the bonus account. If you've got a bonus account, you can't do CFDs. So if you want to do CFDs, you've got to open another account, which is not a bonus account. Okay. So if you can't find F-stop in there, well, first of all, a lot of people put the wrong volumes in as well, which means they haven't been to CFD classes, but they bought the course, haven't been it, and now they want to trade it. No, it's different. F-stop, don't put one guy put 0.01 on F-stop. He didn't read the signal or the risk, anything, obviously didn't do it, jumped in 0.01, had a habit maybe from Forex. I wonder why if PL wasn't moving. Well, it won't, because the position size so tight, it won't move. It's got to go up about $1 before it moves 1 cent in your profit loss, because the position size is so minute. So I told them basically just delete the bloody thing and go in. I think it was about 5 or 10 shares or 20 or whatever it is. Don't forget, it takes some of the practice after you used to do 0.03 or whatever. Study put in 2030, but volumes are different. Okay. Yeah, we've all got that. Okay, where was I? Okay, just have a quick recap before we close in. GBP-CAD, have we got anything? Can we get that filled or not? It's trying to go up a bit, but still no, don't chase it now. We'll try and get a better price. CAD-CHF, about break even, not much happening there. NZD-CAD, what do we get in at? 33, NZD-CAD. It's about break even. Okay, got it 33, it's just about break even a moment. So both about break even, pretty quiet game of the weekend, so be it. Okay, that's those two. AUD-CAD and AUD-CHF. AUD-CAD, it's trying to come off. Trying to, let's see what happens there. Anyway, it might come right. AUD-CHF, it was in the profits. I think it's around about the break-even mark at the moment. Let it run. No, it's not. It's a profit, sorry. Got it 58. It's in the profit anyway. But anyway, let it run, give it a chance. EUR-CHF, that definitely was in a profit. Nothing's changed on that. Let it run. You modified your stock, give it a chance. Let it run. It might hit the TP. Don't take it. Anybody? Here's a good question. Be honest now, guys. We're in the Euro-CHF, and be honest now, you're out now because you took your profit too quickly or you moved your stop loss too close. Has that happened to anybody on the trading review on EUR-CHF? This is important to admit this, so discuss it. You should be in the picture. You get the idea. Good stuff, Brad, means you're listening. But I want people to admit it, to say, put the hand up on it. You've moved it, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Like I mentioned, I even suggested that, so that's fine. Anybody taking profit on that or move the stop loss too close and not in it anymore? I just want to learn by this because it'll be invaluable to those people going forward, why they're battling. We're probably now too scared to admit it, but unfortunately, that's when you need to be unscared. Nobody, okay. Because I want people to get out of that habit. Give the winning trades a try. If you don't want to do that, put a risk reward calculator up. where you're risking 100 rand to make 30 rand. And trade like that and see how you do. Okay, that makes all happy with that. Teachers getting harsh, it's for your sake. Yeah. Cecil, good man. Well done. Not good man, you did it. Good man, you put your hand on and admitted it. So this is what I'm trying to aim at for you guys. That's what I'm trying to aim at. So listen to Pietro there. Listen to Pete there. They're still in it. Farney's still in it. Brian's still in it. Happy chappies, those guys, and they're nearly 50 pips in profit. Cecil, if you trade with 20, 30 pip profit, you will lose money. I can't guarantee it, but I'd say the probability is very, very, very high percentage you'll lose. You remember we talk about 2 out of 3 winners. You're going to have to make about 8 out of 10 winners. 7, 8, 9, 10 winners per one loss to make any money if you take your profit so quick. Run with the losers, get out as soon as you're in profit, not that clever. Very natural because the ups and downs. How do we get rid of the ups and downs? Get your volumes right. And instead of looking at the damn thing all the time like this, get rid of it. Get it, not get rid of it, get it out of the way. Let your mind relax on other stuff. Just check it occasionally. Otherwise, your head is going to get played with. Good with that, Cecil and Company. You haven't? You got that? Yeah, that's emotional stuff, Maria. The only person to do something like that is yourself. I can put it out there, but unless you get the concept of it, because I know one particular person spent a lot of time with that particular person on overexposed doing that, read everything. Following day, and it's not the first, it won't be the last time, a lot of people do it, did exactly the same again. And it's exasperating, you know? I cannot overstate how powerful that genome of fear is and those emotional aspects bred into us. Very, very, very powerful. It takes a bit of time to get the hang of actually understanding it. And that's why we're played by the media so much, because they know that. That's why they play you. They know we're emotional creatures and they press those buttons. That's why a lot of democracies don't work, in my opinion, because it ends up in a guy searching power, doing a big fat sales pitch and playing with your emotions to get you to do what they want you to think, talk about and do. Most of the conversations around the dinner table, what you've been played to think of our priorities, because the billionaire American press, 10,000 Ks away, told you that's what you think. Remember that. Think for yourself, no matter what the bloody Yanks think. Everyone's saying that, they say. Well, no, they're not. They might be saying in America, but not saying in Ghana. It's called panic trading. Takes a bit of practice, but got to get on it. If a guy says they put in a, like yourself, yeah, and I'm not going to obviously mention funny, and took the knock you have on the same trade signals I've been using, clearly profit taken too quick or panic trading, clearly. Takes a while to get a hang of it. Let's say the psychological part's going to work on. If you stare at the price, profit, loss all day, it's going to screw with your head. Have you all got that, guys? Why do people lose at trading? Sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes the market behaves. We all know that. But most of the time, almost certainly, I can tell you it's wrong volumes and emotions taking profit too quick and emotions taking over. Especially do a good run. The overexposed in the NAS did very well. Instead of going celebrating, then now they say, oh, this is all right. And they put the whole lot back that evening. I'm not a particular person, not near that good, so I won't mention name anyway. I pleaded with him, it was about a month ago, he was grossly overexposed on NAS, he came right. And he's a happy chappy, and for goodness sake, you're overexposed, do not go in again and do it. No, I closed off the computer and I went and checked just literally about 2 hours later, just for hell of it. He went back in and he'd blown the lot. He couldn't resist it. That's not how to trade. If you want to gamble, go to the casino. Stop loss too close. Yeah, Anne-Marie, you're getting at least the first step. Now you've got to implement it. That's the difficult part. Yeah, screws the head. Yeah, if you screws your head if you're overexposed. If you're exposed to the correct amount, it doesn't. I've got my account in there. I've explained it to you. I don't know what to do at the moment. I have to go and check. But I'm not staring at it all the time, because if I take it 1800, I can hack it. If it was $4,000, I probably could hack that, but I don't want to. That's going to screw my head. You get the point. Screw my head, not so much the money, to be quite horribly honest with you. It's because I've explained to you and I behave like a bloody Amazon self. I really tick myself off. The fancy word for it is called contrition, extremely contrite. How all the guys don't do it, I've done it myself. I really get stuck into me. I give myself a fat ticking off. Hope we're all good, guys. Sorry, go on, but this is critical, it really is. Hope you benefit and see the value of it, and don't just see it as a bloody Roger rant. Okay, finally, just hope you got benefit out of all this, because just going on kicking in the wrong direction, and those things we've been talking about a lot today. It's just they're putting more money in, just putting good money after bad. Got to get hang of the head. Hang of the head. There you are. There you are, Marie. So I'm getting backed up by the people there. It's not just me saying it and ranting on. The final probably, Mark has just had to leave. He'll say that. And I'll bet you guys, you're on yourself, that's primarily what the mistakes being made until you sort of get the hang of it on that basis. The quicker I can bung that into you, the better we can all do. Okay, good. I will bang on again, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, but it is important. Until at last it sort of penetrates, that's the way to do it. Because otherwise it's not to. Yeah, emotions are terrible trading. Absolutely. Remember, we can control them after a while, yeah, but are all built. I don't care where you come from, what part of the world, what culture, I don't really care. It's built in. You know, when you put your finger on a hot stove, you don't say, this is hot, I think I shall remove my finger. No, you don't do that. What you do is instant, before you even thought anything, the finger comes off. The instant genome evolutionary reaction. And remember, technology is quick, evolution is slow. And a lot of our emotions haven't caught up with the change in technology and change in things that we're doing. So you've got to try and speed it up by understanding the site and trying to handle it. Okay, sorry to go on about it, but this is without doubt the biggest problem. No good studying theory if you haven't cracked that part. Good. Right. Okay, guys. Hope you did benefit from it. I've gone on a lot, quite a bit, but the trades haven't been too bad if you're stuck with them, and you should be nicely in profit now. Oh, did you? Well done. Did that in your own bank. Nah, leave Engas alone. We've said for a while. If you don't believe me, go and ask Farney or Mark Shearer. Okay, leave Engas. Forget about it. No. Even Pete Mayer said May will be giving a cubic litre of gas away for free if you buy a Mars bar just now, the way it's going. But yeah, leave it alone. Well done. So you did a straddle on that. Okay, good stuff. Well, you get the hang of it. So yeah, well, a decent one hopefully coming up next week. Okay, guys, thanks very much. Watch your trades. Hark on what I've been saying. Practice on it. And hopefully by going into not too distant future, you will become better traders. Okay. And have a great weekend, guys. Okay. See you all. Cheers, Bram. Cheers, guys. Hope you benefited. Catch you. Hope you did your hand, by the way, after our chat yesterday. Hope it's now become a little bit clearer. Thank you, Cecil. Good stuff. Cheers.